Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we've got one more for you today. If I just roll up the page here. We've done something similar like this in the past. It's a question that comes up quite often. Somebody was asking how to make the blurb images zoom in when you hover over them. It's pretty easy to do. We've got to do a little bit of coding for this, but don't let that put you off. Any code that I write today, I'll put below the video, and you're welcome to copy and paste it and use it how you wish. So let's get started. I'm going to undo what I've got done here and we'll start from scratch. Okay, so we're back to normal blurb modules now. I've taken that code away. Let's enable the visual builder. And what I'll do is I'll go down and let's start a new row here. Little green button for a new row. I'm going to put a row with 3 columns in just because that's what I've got above and below. And I'm going to use a blurb module for this today. Okay, well there's a regular blurb module. Obviously put whatever you want there for your title and your content here. And just like any other text module, you can change your text from paragraphs, headings, bold, italicize, add links, and add media if you need to. I'm going to leave mine just as it is. Let's go down to the image and icon. I'm going to add an image to mine today. There we go, that will do fine. Okay, well we've got our image in there and I'm going to leave mine just like that. As I'm adding a bit of CSS today, I'm going to go to the theme customizer to do that. So let's save our page changes and exit the visual builder. Okay, I'm going to go over to my theme customizer. For anybody that doesn't know how to get there, just go down to your dashboard, go down to appearance and customize. And that'll bring you to this page here. You may want to temporarily assign whatever page you've got your blurb built on to your home page. You can always flip it back after we've done this. That way it'll allow you to actually see what you're doing while we're doing the coding. And to get to the additional CSS panel, it's on the bottom there. And this is where we can write our code. Okay. Well, what we want to do is hover over this, and when we hover over that image there, we want it to expand and kind of zoom in. So I'm using Google Chrome here with the great inspector tools. Most browsers have this nowadays, but if yours doesn't, Chrome is a free download. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to hit inspect. That brings up the inspector here. And if you've got elements selected, it'll give you HTML on one side. And if you've got style selected, it'll give you CSS on the other side. Okay, well it's highlighted our image right there. So if I just left click on there, there it is, ETPB main blurb image image. Okay, well first thing I want to do is make it grow. So I want it to be about twice the size. So I'm going to use some transform scale. And after the E of scale with no gap, open some round brackets. And inside you can tell it how much you want it to scale. I want mine to scale by 2. I want them to be twice as big. There we go. And you may have noticed it's affecting all of our blurb modules there, which this will do. I'll show you how to just do it to individual ones in a moment. Okay, well that's done what we want. Obviously we don't want it spilling over everything like that, but we'll fix that in a moment. So let's copy what we've just done from the dot ET main blurb image all the way down that closing curly bracket there. Control C. I'm going to paste it over here just to make it permanent. And we can take away anything that we didn't write, such as that border radius inherit. And it's always a good idea when you're doing CSS coding, give it a title, especially if you do a lot of it. It makes things easier to find. So I'm going to do /*/ Anything that you write in between the stars will not be read as code. So it's a great place for titles and notes and things. So let's call it blurb image hover or zoom, whatever you want to call yours. So we've got it scaling up, but really I only want it to do that when we actually hover over it. So I'm going to copy it, the whole thing. It's still in my clipboard probably. Control C again. I'm going to drop down. I'm going to paste it in below, and after the image with no gap, I'm going to say colon and no gap again, and the word hover. So now we've created a hover state where it's going to scale by 2. I can delete that little line of code. The reason I'm leaving this here is because I'm going to do my transition duration in there in a moment. So if we publish this, now we don't want to see it spilling out and covering our text there. We want it to be contained the same way as it was before, but just zoomed in on it. So if we look just above the image there, we got ETPB wrap, and you can see that blue highlighted area is showing you what the size of that is, and we really want this picture contained within that. So let's click on the ETPB image wrap. We can roll up to the top here. There it is right there. And I'm going to say overflow hidden, which means anything that goes outside that highlighted blue box there, which overflows out of there, will not be shown. So let's try that. Say overflow colon hidden. And as you can see, that's now contained that within that little area of the wrap itself. And like I said, we're affecting all of the blurb modules. Anytime you create a new blurb module now, it's going to have this effect. And for anybody who wants to do it on individual ones, I'll show you how in just a minute. So again, I'm going to copy all of this from the dot, make sure not to cut off the dot, all the way down to that closing curly bracket there, Control C. I'm going to paste this just below here. And again, we can get rid of anything we didn't write, which is the display in the margin there. There we go. Now we'd need to refresh this to make it actually work, but let's publish this and go to our page, and I'll just refresh this page. Okay, now when we zoom in, it's instantly zooming in by 2. I mean, it's happening absolutely immediately. So it's working, but we want to make it a bit more graceful so it's more of a zoom in than rather just suddenly being 2 times as big. So to fix that, let's go back to our customizer. This is why I left this original class up there. In between the 2 curly brackets, I'm going to give it a transition duration. So we'll say transition dash duration colon, and I'm going to make mine about 0.8 of a second. Well, let's make it a whole second. So I'll say 1s for 1 second, semicolon. Always make sure you put your semicolon after each line of code. If you fail to do that, it won't read the one below. Okay, so that should take a second now. Let's publish that, go back to our page, and we should be pretty much good to go. We'll refresh this. Now when we hover over, it takes a second to zoom in. And when we let go, it'll zoom back out again. So that's pretty much done. And like I say, that's going to affect every module, every blurb module that you create. Let's enable the visual builder, and I'll show you how you can make it individual. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into one of these blurbs, doesn't matter which one, and we're just going to have it affect one blurb. We may as well do the one that we've got here, which is the new one. So I'm going to go into the actual blurb module itself. I'm going to go over to advanced, and I'm going to go over to CSS IDs and classes. I'm going to give this a class of its own. Let's call it BL for blurb and zoom, blurb zoom. You can call yours whatever you want, but it wants to be unique, and it kind of really wants to make sense to you when you look at it. I mean, that's kind of my shorthand for blurb image zoom, but you make yours how you will. Okay, so this has now got a name of blurb image zoom. I'm going to copy that. It's a class name. Save this. Let's go back to our customizer. Well, let's save our page changes here. And exit the visual builder. Now at the moment, these are all still zooming in. But we just want this one to do the zoom effect. And we've given it that class, so let's go over to our customizer. And what we can do, put that class name in front of all of these, and it'll just affect those. So it's a class name. All class names need to have a dot or a period or a full stop in front of them. So there's the dot. We'll paste the class name that I had there and give it a gap. So we now put this class name in front. I'm going to copy this whole thing, Control C, and paste it in front of the others, Control V. Now let's publish our changes, because we're now affecting the BL Zoom class and that within it. So let's go back to our page and refresh now. And as you can see, these top ones here doing absolutely nothing, which is what we want. When we hover over the one down below, it should zoom in. There we go. So there's how to do it if you want to add individual ones. Then if you add a new blurb module, you can give it that class name and it'll automatically have the zoom effect. So there you go, guys. That's how to have your blurb image zoom in. Nice little effect, really easy to do. Like I say, that CSS code, I'll put it down below. I'll take that class name off of it. You're welcome to copy, paste it, however you want to use it. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.